I am not buying what Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are peddling in this CBS Sunday Morning interview. I find it despicable, and not enough people are asking the right questions. Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I am Andy Signore. So many people ask me, Andy, why do you have such a beef with Harry and Meghan? Who cares? Why do you have a whole channel devoted to them? Well, a lot of people care. In fact, we just hit 100,000 subscribers over on Popcorn Palace. And yes, that's where we typically put these types of videos. Please head over there, subscribe, join our audience over there, because we do talk about the royals more often there. Obviously, that's what we do, daily royal coverage. But this is a story I wanted to put in. About once a month, we'll be plugging Palace and talking about Harry and Meghan still here because we've reported on them a lot in the past. I've come to learn more about them, and I've just found them to be hypocritical, narcissistic grifters. Now, what they're doing in this new organization, this Parents Network, the idea of it, I'm not opposed to. I'm not in any way trying to criticize the families involved. No, I'm criticizing Harry and Meghan spotlighting themselves, putting themselves face forward to make it all about them and exploiting these poor grieving families to once again victimize themselves and make it look like they've been bullied and that they're the actual heroes. And I'm so sick of it. And I want to play a quick portion, and then I want to get to the bigger issue, which is what is this Parents Network and what's it actually doing? But before we go there, I want you to see the intro to this CBS special so you can see what it's really about.
On a brilliant summer day near Santa Barbara last week, a group of friends got together.
Now, this is near their house. I'm sure it's not their house. They always rent out similar houses, which they get Netflix to pay for. And these friends are grieving families who now Meghan and Harry are going to surprise. Listen.
This was not your typical receiving line.
Hi! Who showed up?
Oh, hi, look who showed up. Oh my gosh, we are so honored to be in your presence. How lovely to have multiple cameras here documenting us meeting these grieving families.
Duke and Duchess of Sussex, better known as Harry and Meghan, are definitely big huggers.
They're big huggers. Aw,
It
look.
was a meeting of an exclusive club.
Oh, it's good to meet you.
And one that none of them wanted to join.
And a club that Meghan and Harry aren't actually part of. They aren't grieving parents, which all these people are, who I believe are being exploited
Most
by
of the
them.
parents here have lost a child, directly or indirectly, as a result of exposure to online social media.
Actually, the majority you'll learn their kids were actually saved. Thank goodness, you learn in the promos. So it's just weird manipulation all along to spotlight Harry and Meghan as these saviors of look at all the good they're doing.
Harry and Meghan are trying to give them, and parents like them, some place to turn for help.
For help. To turn for help. Okay. Here. Now, it's important you
called-
notice on the CBS morning version of this special, it's playing a very, very good song, Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross's Hand Covers Bruise, the Social Network theme, to be very manipulative. Props to Heather for pointing that out. Now, if you go to the actual website, you'll learn they used a sound-alike to try to get through it. But let's look at what they're actually trying to do.
Parents Network, in association with the couple's charitable Archwell Foundation, and officially launches today.
It launched on Meghan Markle's birthday, of course, because it has to be about her. Oh, gosh. And they made sure Jane Pauley's there to document the meeting.
So happy
While cameramen are, so many, look how many camera people are
you're
here.
here. Thank you.
Meghan herself knows a thing or two about online bullying.
And there it is. That's what this is all about, to remind everybody that Meghan Markle has been bullied. Oh, but no, it's not just Meghan Markle, is it?
And of course, her husband Harry is no stranger to that either.
These two have just been bullied relentless. All criticism against them is actually bullying, guys. You don't get it. They've been treated so unfairly. It's all racist. We're all racist bullies. That's the narrative they want out there. Guys, I don't think some of you really get it. They've been out there doing this for a while, planting this seed, setting the tone, speaking to the Senate about how we need to make online safety. Now, of course, I agree. Sometimes online, it's crazy out there. There needs to be better policing. I do think from some of these social media companies, they aren't really caring about people. They care about the bottom line. But what does this have to do with Harry and Meghan? And now that you've launched this big project, what are you going to do with it? Well, they're just going to scare everybody, guys.
Or to unspeakable grief.
Let's scare them about the unspeakable grief that these parents have suffered by losing a child. The worst thing I could imagine. Let's scare everybody. Let's scare them all. Social media is going to kill your kids, guys.
Central topic is the loss that these families have suffered. Stories that need to be shared because the parents who are listening who have not suffered a loss think that they couldn't, but they could.
They certainly could. And that's, I think, one of the scariest things that we've learned over the course of the last 15, 17 years that social media's been around, and more so recently, is the fact that it could happen to absolutely anybody. I mean, we always talk about, in the olden days, if your kids were under your roof, you knew what they were up to. At least they were safe, right? And now they can be in the next door room on a tablet or on a phone and can be going down these rabbit holes. And before you know it, within 24 hours, they could be taking their life.
Look, I'm not trying to dispute the dangers of social media in any stretch of the imagination, but what on earth are these two selling? What we're just scaring everybody that social media is going to kill your kids? Now, Meghan,
Our kids are young. They're 3 and 5.
Our kids are so wonderful.
They're amazing.
They're amazing. They're not going to off themselves.
But all you want to do as parents is protect them. And so as we can see what's happening in the online space, we know that there's a lot of work to be done there, and we're just happy to be able to be a part of.
Well, you hope
Change for
that
good.
when your children ask for help, someone, is there to give it.
If you know how to help.
Oh, yeah. Good job interrupting her.
At this point, we've got to the stage where almost every parent needs to be a first responder. And even the best first responders in the world wouldn't be able to tell the signs of possible suicide.
So there it is, guys. The best people in the world who do this sort of thing don't even know how to stop this. So what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Harry and Meghan are our saviors, right? How are they going to stop these children getting lost to social media? What is the Parents Network with all this buildup? I expected something. It's just a support group. And there's tons of support groups out there, guys. There are tons of them. Google them locally. If you are a parent grieving and suffering, Google a support group and go try one out. They're free, and they're not going to require the amount of information that this group is requiring. Literally, it is impossible to find the link on how to help. It's impossible. Okay, I want to support this. Let's add our voice. Well, here's the problem. What can I do? Speak up. Explore our resources and guide our future efforts by sharing what matters to you most in the feedback form below. What? That's what we're going to do? Okay, well, that's not very helpful, but let's look at these resources. Okay, cool. Today, we are the Parents Network. We act as a support network. We share our stories. We take action together. All right, let's do this. Let's save our kids. That's it? That's it. Now, the Archewell Foundation is funded by Power. This is the resources. Like, what is this? All right, so let's go back. Let's try to join the campaign. Okay, find out more. They're here to help. Okay, if you are a parent in need, you can join us. Okay, great. Join the Parents Network. Let's do it. Let's save some kids. All right, name, birth date, email, phone number, zip code, country. Tell us about yourself. Okay, now detail. This community is reserved only for parents and caregivers who have experienced online harm in these areas. My God, it's a lot of areas. Okay, a lot of cyberbullying. They're really focused on the cyberbullying. Please share a bit about your experience so we can help connect you to others. Okay, what are you hoping to gain from joining this community of parents? My God, can you imagine? I've had job interviews that have required less. I thought this was a support group to help families. So then you're going to fill all this out, and now warning me, by the way, it's going to post content, interactive spaces that might be basically a social media site, which is dangerous. Oh, and by the way, I consent to the Archewell Foundation to collect and process all my personal data, including race, political stuff, religious, philosophical, trade union memberships, health insurance, sex life, and or sexual orientation in order to provide the Parents Network. I provide this consent on my behalf and on behalf of children. So I'm giving not only my clearance, but all my kids' stuff. They have it all. If I provide personal data about them, I understand I may withdraw this consent at any time. Okay, great. I can consent it then take it away later, but I already gave it. I also acknowledge that any personal data I disclose may be viewed, collected, and used by others. It is held under strict privacy by the Archwell Foundation and will never be sold or disclosed to outside entities. Do you trust them? Would you click these 2 boxes? Especially when you could just go Google a parent group, support groups in my area, and not have to sign a 10-page NDA, which is what this feels like. What are they doing? Who's all these people that are powering it? Like, what is this? Okay, there is some guides here. A lot of partners. Are they paying? What is actually helping here? I don't understand. So they've put out some PDFs. Here's how to, so they've just taken some online resources, which there's so many of these already out there. And now you've become experts worthy of CBS This Morning to spotlight yourselves about the dangers, to be the face of this movement.
Fine piece of this.
You can't tell this story to everybody. People don't understand.
To bring these parents in to share the story so you can sit there next to them and make yourself look like charitable heroes. I'm sorry, this really bothers me. It really bothers me. And as you go through the rest of this show, you learn more and more just how weird it is. Meghan uncomfortably wondering why Jane Pauley's bringing up her own unalivement thoughts. Well,
is being able to be really open about it.
But you weren't. You never are. We don't even understand what happened. None of it makes any sense. Literally on Oprah, as Jane points out, she said she wanted to unalive herself. And then Jane brings this up in the most awkward moment of the whole thing.
You had an experience that connects you to these families. And I see you touch your husband's hand in just the way I knew that you would be looking after each other.
Because she's like, where are you going with this? I don't want you to bring that up because I don't talk about that anymore.
If I went places. But the connection that you have with people is they know you had suffered too, personally. Contemplating killing yourself is what suicidal ideation was. And I'm dancing around this because I can see you're uncomfortable with my even going there. Do you?
I wonder why she's uncomfortable. I wonder why.
I understand why you are, though. I wasn't expecting it, but I understand why you are.
You weren't expecting it.
Because there is a through line, I think. And when you've been through...
You think there's a through line. You think there... I've said this in my other coverage over in Palace. Meghan Markle thinks there's a through line to Meghan having suicidal thoughts. And a parents network group that is literally all about stopping children from being lost to social media and having suicidal thoughts. I guess I can see what you're talking about, Jane. I guess. I guess there's a connection. And you wonder why people doubt her. Look, I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't like that they're using these families in ways to spotlight themselves so broad, so big. This is like a whole Meghan and Harry PR opportunity, and they're getting a lot of flack for it, as they should. And then I see a lot of people online getting mad at me. I'm going to end you on this. Not that I want to give this guy any more attention, because that's clearly what they all do. To talk about anti-bullying and then not bring up Harry and Meghan allowing the Sussex Squad to never condemn it, one of the worst online communities I've ever faced. The critics, well, they're just racists, middle-aged racists, always a gobbleneck, poppin' Karen, middle-aged racist that attacks Meghan Markle. That's the critique. That's the critique. Not the fact that none of this actually makes sense, that the organization doesn't make sense, the fact that Meghan and Harry are way too prominent in a whole feature that's supposed to be spotlighting families. No, none of that we're going to address. We're just going to label people racist if they're criticized because we're bullies. It makes sense then why she's starting an anti-bullying campaign, doesn't it? That's what this is all about. Am I crazy? I want to know what you think. If you want to hear more about this and more coverage of Meghan and Harry, hit the Palace button, the subscribe and alert button over to Popcorn Palace. Support us over there. We got 100,000 subscribers. We cover this daily over there. We're going to talk about other stuff here, but once in a while, I want to remind you about that pursuit we're going to, which is the truth. I do not think they are the victims they paint themselves out to be. And you can head over there and watch the full interview. There's a lot of stuff you're not going to miss over there. So please support us. Thank you guys so much for watching here on Popcorn Planet. We got a lot of other topics we're going to get to, but what are your thoughts on this? Am I missing something? Do you think I'm off base? I want to hear your thoughts down below. Thanks so much for watching.